Hey everyone, Reaper here again with another video. This is another episode of some of my favorite covers, some of my awesome covers that I think in my collection. So once again, we will continue with the same rule, one book per series. And let's get started. War is Hell, number 9. I said in my last video that I really like yellow backgrounds and I like red backgrounds, and just look at this background. I love the red, the way it really showcases the yellow in hell and the characters themselves. Just love that image, that drawing of death coming out over the soldiers. Truly awesome cover. Strange Adventures 207. One of my favorite Neal Adams covers by far. I think he really did such a great job with this cover, with Dead Man trying to figure out which one of these people killed me, and then you see all the different faces around, all the different people that might be his killer or killers. I think just the facial expressions on all these different people, all these different facial expressions, from surprise to angry to just everyday, normal, sad. Just a really done well here. This is a good example of Neal Adams' awesome artwork. There we go. Marvel Spotlight on Ghost Rider. First appearance of the Ghost Rider. Definitely one of my favorites from the Bronze Age. I've always liked the character Ghost Rider, and I like, even though it's like the frame, sometimes I think that the frame is a little weird, but it has grown on me over the years. But I think it's definitely a really nice cover that pops. Ghost Rider is very visual, and this cover really shows him at one of his bests, I think. Let me just get these out of the way. Tales from the Crypt 39. I'm not sure. This book right here is going to be in my comic book haul number 30. I'm not sure if you'll see this video before I release comic book haul number 30. If I don't, here you have a special preview of it. I think we all, for those that have been following my channel when it comes to my comic book history, you know why this is on here. This was my very first Tales from the Crypt book. I read it in reprint form, of course, back in the summer of 1990. And that was when I began my journey into becoming a part-time comic book collector, when I only collected EC reprints like Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, and Haunt of Fear. Well, this was the very first one from the Gladstone reprint I purchased, number 3. Finally able to add the real thing to my collection. Love this cover from the 3rd season of the HBO TV series. This cover, Undertaking Pallor, first story in the book. What a way to get introduced to EC Comics for me back then. And I just love the Jack Davis art of the zombie, even though he wasn't a zombie in the story, chasing after the kids. Really cool. There we go. Is it a shock that we have another Silver Surfer from the first series on here? First appearance of Mephisto, but take a look at this cover. The Silver Surfer going toward Mephisto, coming from the fires of hell. The artwork inside is equally stunning when Mephisto is introduced. And the Silver Surfer's scenes with him, truly stunning. A great book to have. Not necessarily because of its Mephisto's first appearance, but just because of the artwork itself. And once again, red cover, red background. Here we go. Neal Adams again. Are we starting to see a pattern here? Detective 400. It's the first appearance of Man-Bat. Yes, it is. But also, I just love this cover. The way Batman and the Man-Bat are staring each other down, and the lights of the city are just illuminating upwards toward both of them in the nice midnight sky, and the beautiful background with the ocean and the glare of the moon going down. It's just so much good stuff about this book, and Once again, a beautiful cover and beautiful artwork inside by Neil Adams. Definitely a must-have for any cover collector, I think. Here's one. Here's this one. Classic Steranko cover from X-Men. This is the first time Lorna Dane becomes Polaris. I believe she made her first appearance in the previous issue, but this is the first time she is Polaris. Really great cover. And this was also another thing I like about this cover, other than the awesome Steranko artwork. He really knew how to draw women. Okay, did a fantastic job with her, and the effects of her mutant powers spreading throughout the cover, and everyone's they're all scared and all that stuff. But other than all that great artwork, which alone gets this on anyone's list, I think, or at least gets it on my list, is the new X-Men logo that would stay with the series for well over 30 years. Steranko took that old, horribly drawn X-Men logo, the one with the X, and it looks like it's been torn out or somebody took bites out of the edges. A lot of the Marvel books with titles had that, and I just couldn't stand it. But here Steranko took the logo and made it like in-your-face dynamic, and I think this is the logo that most of us have been collecting all these years really identify with. I couldn't tell you what the X-Men logo looks like today, and I know it probably doesn't look like this, or if it does look like this, great. But this is such a memorable change of design in the logo that started with this issue, so really, really cool. A few more. Batman 189, the first Silver Age appearance of the Scarecrow. Really cool. Here the Scarecrow looks creepy. I mean, this is his third appearance, right? His first appearance was in World's Finest 1. I think the World's Finest 1, where Batman, Superman, and Robin, they're playing baseball, is a classic cover because it's stupid. It's just, I never got it with that cover. The second appearance of the Scarecrow, Detective 73, definitely trumps this cover in every way because of its sheer, the beauty of it. But I think this one by Infantino also does a really good job with the Scarecrow. The beautiful dark Halloweenish type background, and the way he has Batman over a cliff. It's just really well done. And definitely a cool cover in the Silver Age Batman line. Okay, some of you maybe watched the first video and said, how the hell could you leave this out, Reaper? Well, I didn't leave it out this time. Haunt of Fear number 12, my absolute favorite cover of all time, by none other, Graham Ingalls, my favorite artist. Like I said in previous videos, I've known of this cover for a long, long time. Saw it in reprint form, and what I liked about it was just everything. The way the two characters, and this was also the story in the Tales from the Crypt movie in 1972, Poetic Justice cover story, a little extra information. But what I liked about it, one of the many things I liked about it was the absolute fear. This is the Haunt of Fear, right? The absolute fear in both of the characters' faces as they run away from the zombie, and in the story, the man that they tortured, trying to get him to move out of their homes. Other things that that really popped for me in this issue, the background, the way the moon is in the background, and the creepy tree just sort of goes through the moon and acts like a claw over the pathway into the really, really densely populated cemetery there. Just an awesome cover. I've said it many times before in other videos, and I can't say it enough. Truly one of my favorite covers, like I said, my favorite cover of all time, and something that I just love to pull out and look through and look at whenever I can. And the last one, The Amazing Spider-Man, number 9. One of my favorite early Ditko covers. I know maybe some don't. I always liked the almost like the comic sequence on covers, like with the Sandman had the 4 panels. I like that, and I like it here too. I think it's done pretty well. I'm always fascinated with this cover when Spider-Man reaches out and touches Electro and then gets electrocuted and he seems to be defeated. And like, well, how am I supposed to defeat an enemy that I can't touch? I've always liked characters that could harness electricity. And, who better than Electro other than the Emperor from Star Wars, right? Love this cover, very classic cover. Love the background of it with the yellows mixed in and all that stuff. One of the things that I'm not too fond of when it comes to this cover and with other covers is I don't like this big circle and all these little messages. Just little things I like on it, but nothing that really takes up too much of the background. But other than that, great cover. One of my favorites from the early Steve Ditko run on Amazing Spider-Man for sure. Thank you again for watching part 2 or episode 2, whatever I decide to call it when I go into the editing stage of this. Thank you once again for taking the time out to watch my videos, this one in particular, and I hope you stay tuned and watch more. Thank you, everyone. Take care.